Speed is a mysterious advantage in the journey of destiny. There are people who walk the same path, apply the same effort, and yet arrive at very different outcomes, because speed is not a product of movement alone, it is a function of alignment. In the economy of God, progress is not merely about longevity or labor, it is about precision. There is a way to journey long and still remain behind. And there is a way to be positioned rightly and find that years collapse into moments. Tonight we speak about gaining speed, not the kind that exhausts the soul, but the kind that is sponsored by heaven. Speed in the spirit is not anxiety. It is not pressure. It is not running ahead of God. Divine speed is when grace carries what strength could not sustain. It is when instruction replaces struggle and wisdom substitutes for weariness. Come, many delays in the lives of people are not demonic, they are informational. When light comes, speed follows. Darkness prolongs processes, but illumination shortens journeys. The moment God opens your eyes, what took others 10 years can happen in one season without compromise. Impartation is God's authorized method of accelerating men. There are dimensions you do not grow into by time alone. Come, there are realms of effectiveness, authority, and discernment that come by contact. Come, just as fire lights fire without reducing itself, spiritual realities are transferable without loss. Come, when God wants to speed up a generation, He does not merely give them instructions, He positions them for encounters. Impartation is not imitation, it is the transference of capacity that produces originality with accuracy. That every destiny has a timing component. You can be gifted and still be slow. You can be sincere and still be delayed. Speed is not about gifting alone. It is about mastery of seasons. When you discern times, you move with advantage. Come, those who ignore timing work harder for lesser results. But those who understand divine seasons cooperate with grace and find ease. Their acceleration happens when preparation meets opportunity under divine authorization. However, speed must be sustained by structure. God will never accelerate what He cannot trust. Come, many prayers for speed are unanswered not because God is unwilling, but because character, discipline, and order have not been built to carry momentum. Speed without integrity destroys credibility. Speed without wisdom leads to public collapse. When God grants speed, He also demands depth. He builds roots before He increases reach. Authority is another catalyst for speed. There are delays that effort cannot solve, but authority can command. When a man stands in spiritual authority, resistance bows without negotiation. Authority does not shout, it enforces. Come, it is possible to be prayerful yet powerless if authority is not understood. Authority is not volume. It is alignment with divine backing. When authority is established, speed becomes a natural outcome. Conferences like this are not events, they are prophetic junctions. They are moments where God interrupts patterns, corrects trajectories, and releases momentum. When men gather with hunger and honor, God responds with grace and power. Impartation services are divine investments into the future of individuals, cities, and nations. What you receive here is not only for you, it is for those connected to your destiny who will benefit from your acceleration. Lagos, Nigeria is not just a location, that is a prophetic ground. God accelerates regions by accelerating people. When men gain speed, systems change. Come, when leaders gain speed, generations are repositioned. Tonight, God is not merely interested in making you faster. He is interested in making you accurate. Accuracy produces sustainable speed. When direction is clear, movement becomes effortless. As you receive impartation, understand that speed is a stewardship. Come, you will be required to manage opportunities, relationships, and results with wisdom. Acceleration magnifies everything, strengths and weaknesses alike. Therefore, as God lifts you, let humility keep you grounded. Obedience keep you accurate. Let gratitude keep you sensitive. This is a call to rise beyond slow cycles. Come, repeated struggles and prolonged seasons of waiting. This is an invitation to step into divinely sponsored momentum. Not by might, not by power, but by the Spirit. May grace rest upon you. May light flood your understanding. May authority be activated in your spirit, and may your journey from promise to fulfillment be shortened without loss. In the name of Jesus. Divine speed is often misunderstood because many people equate it with haste, pressure, or restless movement, but in spiritual reality, divine speed is the outcome of alignment. Hasty is driven by fear, comparison, and impatience, while divine speed is produced by accuracy, peace, and obedience. When a person is misaligned, even intense effort produces minimal progress, but when alignment is restored, movement becomes effortless and results begin to manifest with unusual ease. This is why two people can apply similar effort, prayer, and discipline, yet experience vastly different outcomes. The difference is not always diligence but direction. Alignment positions a person within the flow of divine order. And once that flow is entered, resistance is reduced naturally. In the economy of God, speed is not about how fast you move, but about how little friction you encounter along the way. Friction comes from disobedience, ignorance, wrong associations, and mistimed decisions. Many delays that people blame on spiritual opposition are actually the consequences of misalignment. When alignment is corrected, what once required force now responds to grace. Divine speed does not exhaust the soul because it is sustained by rest. It is possible to be moving quickly while still being inwardly at peace, because the motion is not self-generated but grace-enabled. This is why divine speed often surprises observers. It lacks the noise, struggle, and anxiety that usually accompany rapid progress. Alignment involves harmony with divine timing, divine instruction, and divine priorities. When timing is wrong, speed becomes dangerous. Acting too early can be just as costly as acting too late. Divine speed respects seasons. It waits when waiting is required and moves decisively when movement is demanded. This kind of speed is intelligent. It does not rush ahead of God, neither does it lag behind out of fear. It flows with precision. Many people want acceleration without alignment, but such acceleration produces instability. God first adjusts direction before increasing velocity. Another aspect of alignment is agreement between belief, their confession, and action. When these dimensions are inconsistent, progress is slow because energy is divided. Divine speed requires internal coherence, where what a person believes, says, and does points in the same direction. Once this harmony is achieved, momentum builds naturally. This is why clarity often precedes acceleration. Confusion scatters effort, but clarity concentrates it. When purpose becomes clear, decisions become simpler, and movement becomes faster without additional strain. Alignment also includes proper positioning within God-ordained relationships and environments. Destiny is relational, and speed is often hidden in connections. Being in the wrong environment can slow down even the most gifted individual, while the right environment can accelerate growth beyond natural capacity. Divine speed emerges when a person is planted where their grace is recognized, nurtured, and released. This does not mean absence of challenges, but it means the challenges encountered are productive rather than destructive. Ultimately, divine speed is a manifestation of cooperation with divine order rather than competition with time. It is the proof that God can compress processes without compromising quality. When alignment is achieved, effort becomes efficient, progress becomes consistent, and results appear without the exhaustion that characterizes haste. Impartation is one of God's most profound instruments for advancing people beyond the limitations of time, effort, and personal experience. It refers to the spiritual transmission of capacity, grace, and spiritual intelligence from one life to another through divinely orchestrated encounters. While growth by discipline, study, and experience is valid and necessary, impartation introduces an advantage that cannot be produced by self-effort alone. It allows an individual to step into realities that would normally take years to access, not by bypassing responsibility, but by receiving empowerment to function at a higher level of accuracy and effectiveness. Spiritual impartation operates on the principle that spiritual realities are transferable because the spirit realm is governed by laws of contact, honor, and alignment. Just as knowledge can be transferred through teaching, spiritual substance can be transferred through encounters. This transfer does not erase individuality or replace personal labor. Instead, it supplies the strength, insight, and sensitivity required to labor with greater results. Impartation often explains why certain people suddenly gain clarity, authority, or boldness without a visible process of gradual development. What changed was not merely information, but capacity. One of the primary outcomes of impartation is momentum. Momentum is the force that keeps movement going with increasing ease, and impartation supplies this force by eliminating internal resistance. Many believers struggle not because they lack prayer or desire, but because they lack spiritual stamina and precision. Impartation strengthens the inner man, sharpens spiritual perception, and aligns the heart with divine priorities. When this happens, distractions lose their power, hesitation diminishes, and movement becomes decisive. Speed is not forced. It emerges as a byproduct of inner alignment and empowerment. Impartation also enhances accuracy. Without accuracy, speed becomes destructive. But impartation calibrates spiritual senses so that decisions are made with discernment. It imparts the ability to recognize divine signals, interpret seasons correctly, and respond appropriately. This reduces costly errors that slow down destiny. Many delays are not caused by inactivity, but by repeated wrong moves. Impartation minimizes such errors by upgrading spiritual sensitivity, allowing progress to be both swift and safe. Another dimension of impartation is the transfer of spiritual authority. Authority is not merely positional, it is the result of spiritual weight and backing. Through impartation, individuals receive a measure of spiritual legitimacy that enables them to confront resistance with confidence. That this authority shortens processes that would otherwise require prolonged struggle. When authority is present, obstacles respond quickly because they recognize the spiritual jurisdiction being exercised. This is why impartation often leads to immediate changes in prayer effectiveness and spiritual confidence. However, impartation is sustained by honor and responsibility. What is received must be stewarded through discipline, obedience, and humility. Impartation does not replace character, it demands it. Without proper stewardship, the grace received can diminish in impact over time. Come, the purpose of impartation is not to create dependence on encounters, but to empower individuals to function consistently at a higher level. When properly stewarded, impartation becomes a catalyst for long-term acceleration, producing speed that is both enduring and fruitful. Come, speed in destiny is sustained by light because illumination governs movement in both the natural and spiritual realms. In darkness, even simple steps require caution, repetition, and hesitation. But when light is present, movement becomes confident and continuous. In the same way, spiritual progress is not primarily slowed by lack of effort, but by lack of understanding. Many people are sincere, calm, prayerful, and hardworking, yet they experience delay because they are moving without sufficient light. Light provides perspective, reveals pathways, and exposes obstacles before they become costly, thereby preserving momentum. Illumination in this context refers to divine understanding, spiritual insight, and clarity of purpose. When light comes, confusion leaves. Confusion is one of the greatest enemies of speed because it divides focus and drains energy. A confused person moves slowly, revisits decisions repeatedly, and wastes time correcting avoidable mistakes. Light brings clarity, and clarity produces decisiveness. When a person knows what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, speed becomes a natural consequence. There is no need for excessive trial and error when understanding is present. Light also reveals priorities. One reason many destinies experience delay is misplaced focus. Energy is invested in things that are urgent but not important, visible but not valuable. Illumination reorganizes life around what truly matters. When priorities are aligned, effort is concentrated, and results come faster. Light helps a person discern what to pursue now, what to postpone, and what to eliminate entirely. This strategic clarity prevents exhaustion and accelerates progress without increasing pressure. Another role of light is exposure. Darkness hides both dangers and opportunities. Many people suffer unnecessary delay because they cannot see the traps ahead or the doors already open to them. Illumination exposes distractions that drain time and reveals opportunities that require immediate response. This awareness allows a person to move swiftly while others hesitate. Light does not merely show the path, it also warns against detours that appear attractive but lead to delay. Illumination also strengthens faith. When understanding increases, fear decreases. Fear slows movement because it introduces doubt and hesitation. A person who lacks light second guesses every step, but a person who sees clearly moves with confidence. Faith is not blind optimism, it is informed trust based on revealed truth. As light increases, confidence grows, and confidence accelerates action. This is why seasons of enlightenment often coincide with rapid advancement in life and ministry. Light sustains speed because it enables consistency. Progress is not sustained by occasional bursts of activity, but by steady, accurate movement. Illumination provides feedback, allowing adjustments to be made quickly without stopping the journey. When mistakes are detected early, correction is easier and less costly. This keeps momentum intact. Without light, that errors compound over time, leading to prolonged delays that could have been avoided. Ultimately, illumination is God's way of preserving speed without sacrificing accuracy. It allows processes to be shortened without compromising quality. When light governs movement, effort becomes efficient, decisions become timely, and progress becomes measurable. Speed that is not sustained by light eventually collapses under its own weight. But speed guided by illumination remains stable, productive, and enduring. Every form of acceleration carries with it an increased demand for responsibility, because speed amplifies both strength and weakness. When progress is slow, errors are easier to manage and consequences are often limited. But when movement is rapid, that small mistakes can lead to major damage. This is why speed without structure becomes dangerous. Structure provides stability, direction, and containment for growth, ensuring that acceleration does not result in collapse. In spiritual and destiny-related matters, God is more concerned with sustainability than sudden visibility. Responsibility in this context refers to the ability to manage growth, influence, and results with wisdom and discipline. Many people desire speed because they are tired of waiting, but few consider the weight that acceleration brings. When opportunities multiply quickly, decision-making becomes more frequent and more complex. Without internal order, priorities become confused, leading to burnout and inconsistency. Structure helps to organize life in a way that supports momentum rather than sabotaging it. Structure begins with character. Character is the internal framework that holds a person together under pressure. Acceleration exposes character because increased speed reduces the time available to think, recover, or explain. When character is weak, speed magnifies flaws such as pride, impatience, and irresponsibility. These flaws eventually interrupt progress. Structure ensures that growth does not outpace maturity. God often delays speed not as punishment, but as protection, allowing character to develop before momentum increases. Another dimension of structure is discipline. Discipline creates predictable patterns that support consistent performance. Without discipline, acceleration leads to chaos because there are no systems to manage increased activity. Prayer life, time management, financial stewardship, and relational boundaries all require structure. When these areas are neglected, speed becomes unsustainable. Discipline transforms acceleration from a temporary surge into a lasting advantage. Accountability is also a critical component of structure. When speed increases, blind spots increase as well. Accountability provides external perspective that corrects errors early. Those who reject accountability often collapse under the weight of their own success. Structure through accountability ensures that decisions are examined, motives are purified, and excesses are restrained. This is especially important in seasons of rapid advancement, when affirmation is abundant and correction is scarce. Structure also includes wisdom in delegation and systems. As speed increases, one person can no longer manage everything alone. Failure to delegate leads to exhaustion and inefficiency. Systems allow tasks to be handled consistently without constant supervision. When systems are absent, acceleration becomes dependent on personal energy, which is limited. Structure ensures that growth is supported by processes rather than personality. Ultimately, responsibility is the price of speed. God accelerates what can be trusted. Structure proves trustworthiness. When structure is absent, speed becomes destructive rather than productive. Sustainable acceleration requires a strong framework that can absorb pressure, manage growth, and maintain integrity. Without structure, speed will eventually turn into strain, confusion, and loss. Spiritual authority is one of the most misunderstood yet powerful instruments for acceleration in destiny. Many people assume that progress is solely the reward of effort, persistence, or time. But there are dimensions of life where effort alone is insufficient. Certain delays are not designed to be endured. They are meant to be confronted. Spiritual authority is the divine permission and backing that allows a person to command outcomes rather than negotiate endlessly with resistance. Where authority is absent, people struggle for long periods, repeating cycles that could have been ended with understanding. Authority functions by recognizing and enforcing divine order. In the spirit realm, nothing responds to emotion or sincerity. Everything responds to authority. This is why a person can pray passionately and still see no change, while another speaks briefly and sees immediate results. The difference is not spiritual activity, but spiritual jurisdiction. Authority gives legitimacy to words and actions, causing them to carry weight beyond human ability. When authority is present, the obstacles respond quickly because they recognize alignment with higher command. One of the ways authority shortens processes is by eliminating unnecessary contention. Many people waste years fighting battles they were never meant to fight because they are operating without authority. Authority does not argue, it establishes. It does not plead, it enforces. When a person understands their spiritual standing, they stop begging for doors to open and begin commanding alignment. This does not produce arrogance, but confidence rooted in divine backing. Authority replaces prolonged struggle with decisive action. Spiritual authority is built through alignment, obedience, and spiritual depth. It is not a product of position, title, or visibility. True authority flows from submission to divine order. Those who are submitted are empowered. Authority grows as a person consistently aligns their will with God's will. This alignment creates trust. And trust releases power. When authority is present, time-sensitive matters respond faster because resistance recognizes jurisdiction. Another dimension of authority is its effect on fear and hesitation. When authority is absent, fear dominates decision-making, slowing progress. People delay actions, overanalyze choices, and retreat at the first sign of opposition. Authority produces boldness, not recklessness, but confidence anchored in understanding. This confidence accelerates movement because decisions are made decisively. Authority removes the inner debate that often prolongs action. Authority also compresses learning curves. When a person operates under authority, access is granted to insight, wisdom, and favor that others must struggle to obtain. Mentorship, divine guidance, and strategic relationships respond to authority. This reduces trial and error experiences that slow down progress. Authority attracts cooperation from both spiritual and natural systems, making advancement smoother and faster. However, authority must be stewarded carefully. Authority without character becomes abuse, and abuse leads to loss of backing. True authority is marked by responsibility, humility, and restraint. It is exercised to establish order, not to dominate others. When authority is exercised rightly, it brings peace, clarity, and progress. When exercised wrongly, it creates resistance and confusion. Spiritual authority is one of God's tools for redeeming time. It allows years of struggle to be resolved in moments because it addresses root causes rather than symptoms. Authority does not replace process, but it removes unnecessary delay. When authority is established, destiny moves forward with fewer interruptions and greater precision. Conferences are prophetic convergences designed by God to interrupt normal cycles and recalibrate the timing of individuals and territories. They are not merely gatherings for inspiration or information. They are spiritual junctions where divine intent intersects with human readiness. In such moments, God compresses experiences, instructions, and encounters that would ordinarily be spread across long seasons into a short, intense period. This compression is one of the ways God accelerates people without violating order. Because what is received in a conference environment is often the result of cumulative grace released in alignment. A prophetic convergence brings together people, atmospheres, and assignments that are meant to collide at a specific time. Many destinies remain delayed not because of disobedience, but because of isolation. Conferences solve the problem of isolation by positioning individuals within a corporate grace. When people gather with hunger, honor, and expectation, the spiritual atmosphere becomes charged. In such environments, sensitivity is heightened and hearts become more receptive to divine dealings. This heightened receptivity allows God to adjust direction, heal distortions, and restore momentum. One of the key functions of conferences is recalibration of timing. It is possible to be doing the right thing at the wrong time, or to be delayed in responding to an instruction. The conferences often bring clarity that corrects timing errors through teaching, impartation, and prophetic utterances. God realigns people with current seasons. This alignment reduces wasted effort and redirects energy toward what is relevant now. When timing is corrected, speed follows naturally because resistance is reduced. Conferences also function as activation grounds. Many people carry dormant graces, callings, and ideas that remain inactive due to fear, lack of confidence, or absence of confirmation. In a prophetic convergence, these dormant capacities are stirred and awakened. Seeing others respond to God, testify of breakthroughs, come and step into assignments creates an atmosphere of faith that activates courage. Activation does not always mean immediate visibility, but it releases momentum that propels individuals into action after the conference ends. Another powerful aspect of conferences is collective faith. Faith is contagious, and when many people believe together, the level of expectation rises. This collective faith creates an environment where impossibilities become plausible. Individuals who struggle to believe alone find their faith strengthened through shared encounters. This strengthening of faith removes internal barriers that slow progress. Once doubt is weakened, action becomes easier and faster. Conferences also provide access to spiritual covering and alignment. Being in a place where divine order is established allows participants to receive direction with clarity and safety. Misalignment often causes delay because people operate without confirmation or counsel. Conferences restore alignment by connecting individuals to sound instruction and spiritual authority. This alignment protects against error while accelerating progress. Ultimately, prophetic convergences are divine accelerators because they combine light, impartation, alignment, and faith in a concentrated form. What is received in such gatherings is not meant to end there, but to be carried into daily life. When properly stewarded, conference encounters recalibrate vision, ignite momentum, and reposition individuals and communities for accelerated fulfillment of purpose. Gaining speed in destiny is not about rushing through life or forcing results. It is about cooperating intelligently with divine order. True acceleration is the outcome of alignment, impartation, illumination, structure, authority, and prophetic timing working together. When these elements are present, progress becomes effortless and sustainable, and results emerge without the strain that characterizes human haste. Come, God's intention is not merely to move people faster, but to move them accurately. They're ensuring that speed does not destroy purpose. Impartation supplies the capacity that time alone cannot produce. Come, while light provides the clarity that eliminates confusion and wasted effort. Structure and responsibility ensure that an acceleration can be sustained without collapse. Come, and spiritual authority shortens processes that effort alone cannot compress. Prophetic gatherings then serve as divine catalysts. Come, bringing these realities together in concentrated moments of alignment and activation. None of these dimensions operate in isolation. Together, they form a framework through which God redeems time and advances destiny. Come, this message is an invitation to step out of delayed cycles and unproductive striving into divinely sponsored momentum. As alignment is restored and understanding increases, grace begins to carry what strength once struggled to sustain. Come, speed becomes a gift rather than a burden, and progress becomes consistent rather than chaotic. The ultimate goal is not speed for its own sake, but fulfillment with integrity, impact, and longevity. Come, so that when acceleration comes, it glorifies God and blesses generations connected to your assignment.